Okay, so picture a tank on a battlefield. What's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably some unstoppable iron beast, right? A fortress on treads, the absolute safest place to be when things get loud. But what if all of that is just an illusion? Today, we're going to peel back that steel skin and uncover the brutal, shocking reality for the soldiers who are trapped inside. I want you to just start with this image in your head. You've got this exhausted tank crew surrounded by the chaos of war. They have a multi-ton armored vehicle, a machine designed from the ground up for maximum protection. And what do? They choose to risk being crushed in their sleep just to get out of it. So you have to ask yourself, why? What could possibly be worse than sleeping in the mud under the belly of that beast?
Well, that one single act, it tells you everything you need to know. For these soldiers, the biggest threat wasn't always what was outside the tank. No, sometimes the most terrifying place on the entire battlefield was right there, inside it.
And this gets us to what I call the fortress paradox. It's this unbelievable gap between how we perceive a tank and the grim reality for the men who called it home, and, all too often, their tomb. I mean, the contrast here is just, it's night and day, isn't it? On one side, you have the myth, the legend from the movies, the invincible steel fortress. But on the other side, you have the reality, the words from the men who actually lived it, a blind, deafening steel coffin. So how do we get from one to the other?
The answer is in the raw, physical experience of being inside that steel box. It was nothing short of a sensory hell that just punished the crew from the very moment they climbed inside. Let's start with the heat. We're talking a relentless, oppressive 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's nearly 38 Celsius. And this isn't some dry desert heat. Now, this is the humid, suffocating heat coming off an engine block, baked by the sun, with multiple sweating bodies crammed into a tiny metal can that has basically zero ventilation. It was literally an oven on treads.
And the air they were breathing, it was this toxic cocktail, a permanent haze of human sweat, oil fumes, and that sharp, acrid smell of burnt propellant every time the cannon fired. And let's not forget, there are no amenities in there, no bathrooms. The atmosphere inside was just claustrophobic and utterly miserable. Okay, now for the sound. Imagine the main gun firing, an explosion happening just a few feet from your head. Well, inside that enclosed steel chamber, it created a skull-shattering 150 decibels of noise. To put that in perspective, that is louder than a jet engine at takeoff. It was a physical assault that left men permanently deaf. But this next part, this might be the most terrifying piece of the whole puzzle. It's a phenomenon called spall. See, when a shell hit the outside of the tank, even if it didn't punch all the way through, the sheer force of the impact could cause the inside wall of the armor to flake off. And these aren't little chips we're talking about. We're talking razor-sharp, superheated fragments of steel flying around the crew compartment at insane speeds. Think about that. This is the ultimate horrifying paradox. Could the very armor designed to protect these men actually kill them? The answer is a terrifying absolute yes. A single hit, one that didn't even penetrate the tank, could turn their shield into a shotgun blast, wiping out everyone inside.
So, when you put all these pieces together, you really start to see the armor's brutal price. You start to understand the true human cost of that illusion of safety.
Okay, so let's just recap this nightmare. The crew was being baked alive by extreme heat, they were choking on toxic air, their hearing was being destroyed by deafening noise, and on top of all that, they lived in constant fear of their own protection turning into deadly shrapnel. Suddenly, sleeping in the cool, quiet mud, it doesn't seem so crazy anymore, does it? It was a desperate escape.
And that's really the heart of it. It's this tragic irony that the men inside were punished, day in and day out, by the very machine that was designed to keep them safe. So the next time you see a tank, don't just see the fortress. See the coffin, and remember the human beings who had to endure it.